Hello and welcome to an Everyday Canines video. This is Magpie, 11 weeks old, and we're talking today in this episode of the Pup to Pro series about rewards. We want our dogs, come here Trouble, you're going off screen. We want our dogs to work for various types of reward, both food-based and toy-based. Why do we want them to work for both? Well, there are situations where either reward is good. For instance, when I'm doing things in agility, restrained recalls, having a toy that the dog can chase, doing like down a line of jumps and they're chasing me, that is useful. And when we get to doing things like in the ring, if we do set a not for competition run in the ring, you can't take food in, but you can take toys in. So that's a good reward if you get your dog used to it. So you say, well, my dog loves toys, why do I need treats? Because there are certain exercises that do need food rewards. And I would say a lot of your puppy foundation stuff, you need food rewards because you're doing things, exercises that if you do reward them with a toy, you actually have trouble doing the position you're teaching. So for instance, if I'm teaching a sit and I reward with a tug, I can do that, but I'm taking my dog out of the sit to reward, which not I do. Oh, thank you, you brought it back to me. You're a good girl. Yeah. So we don't want that. So we want them to be good with both toys. So, toys and food. Right, so we want to talk about the types of toys and treats we want to use and how we get our dog to work. So we're going to start with Tuggy, because I always prefer to start with Tuggies, because once you move on to food, there tend to be the dogs tend to want food more than Tuggy. So you can see this has been a favourite with Magpie, but I have got quite a range of toys. And if I show you the range of toys I've got for her, because you don't know when you start with your dog what they're going to like. So we've got things that have got like those holy balls on the ends, so that's rubber. We've got fluffy toys. I've got another one in there that's holy balls, and then that one. So we experimented with different toys. Magpie, and we experimented to see which one she prefers. Now she likes the fluffy ones. We like the fluffy ones. We like, whoa, you got it? She likes the fluffy one. The fluffy one, good. What about this one? What about this one? Do you like this one? We do like the fluffy ones. So you see, I know in my head, I've been working out a scale over the last couple of weeks that we've been, obviously had Magpie and been playing with her. And I know that fluffy toys are up there. Ballies on a rope we like, but they're like lower. And then that one's sort of, she's so good. That one's in the middle. Oh, you want it. So that one's in the middle. So the fluffy ones are a big hit at the moment. But I would like her to work for all of them. Would you like this one? Would you like this one? But, you know, you learn what your dog prefers. The fluffy one is good. Now you can see that Magpie is a good little tugger. She wants to tug. I have encouraged her to tug, even allowing her to do some slightly naughty behaviours. Oh, we got that one back, did we? She's gone back for the fluffy ball. Come here. So even like allowing some slight naughty behaviours, this is going to be a big proper one. It's just a bit difficult for her at the moment because it's a bit big. So like chewing on furniture, not chewing on furniture, getting covers and tugging. Okay, it's naughty behaviour, but I like to see the fact she wants to tug, so I will then try and disengage you with another toy. She wants to keep taking her toys off to pull, that's why we're having trouble. I encourage her to do any sort of tugging that we can, obviously not on clothes and hands. Oh, you lost it, give it. But I want to have a good game with her, build it up. At this moment in time, I'm not using it for a reward much because most of the exercise I do don't need it as a reward. If I do things that are outside where I run with her, I use it. Oh, you want it. We're playing games where she wins, where I win sometimes, where we have to bring it. And so what I do is I usually start a training session with tug, and we usually finish with tug. But we also just play with tug anytime we think she might like to, just to keep building up the reinforcement, the fact that it's a good game value for me. If she brings me a toy, that's excellent. Can you do this one? Yeah, good girl. And just having loads of fun with it. Now, if you've got a dog that's not into your toys so much and you've got to build up, this is something you have to build up on. And again, it's a case of finding the toy they like. Another toy, which isn't a toy, but I know she likes. It's a sock. It's a sock! She said it's a sock. No, that isn't a tuggy toy, but she loves socks. So we discovered we like socks. So again, we can use this. Yay, she got a sock. Oh, I like this one too. So we're just going to build up lots of fun, find the toys that she most likes. Look, we have fluff everywhere because we've been playing. Like that. And, you know, keep building on that. Oh, did you bring it to me? She said no. And work on that. And yes, if you've got a dog that isn't too sure about its tug, it's something to work on. But don't use it as a reward. Don't try and use it as a reward until you know it is a rewarding game for your dog. Okay, so we've talked about tug. Yeah, you know where we're going next. We're going on to food. So, interestingly, she's my first dog that has been less interested in food than toys, which is nice for tugging, but I do need her to work for food as well, because there's times when I'm going to want to use food. It's good. Okay, I want you to give. Thank you. So when she first came, very low interest in food, weren't sure. That can happen with a lot of dogs who are toy focused. We discovered though, that thin chicken, that was a big winner, didn't we? Yes, thin chicken's a big winner. Now, when I first got her, one of the games we were playing is getting her to find stuff on the floor and turn back to me. She couldn't do that. She literally couldn't do that because the second that went on the floor, she just couldn't get it. She'd take out my hand. So we've tried different treats. We've had homemade cheese treats, homemade beef treats, but the chicken is a real winner. Cocktail sausage. So if you've got a dog that's not into its food, it's a case of finding the one that floats its boat. There will be one. There'll always be one. And also if you're doing training, good girl, then do it before they've had not so much breakfast, because I think it's important puppies have their breakfast straight off when they get up because they've been on overnight with no food. But certainly sort of like if you're doing, she's on 4 meals a day at the moment. So you think you could, there's at least 3 slots during the day where I could do a little tiny bit of training when she's hungry for food and use a bit of food. And I tell you what else I've done. She doesn't always eat her dinner too well. She's on raw. So what I did is I got down on the floor with her and I used her food as training treats. So raw tripe, yep. So we do a game. I grab a bit of raw tripe out of her food bowl. That's her reward. So I'm getting her to eat her dinner while using a very high value reward because, you know, raw tripe. So yeah, so definitely if your dog's on kibble, that's probably not going to work because kibble is lower value, but raw is usually quite high value. So if you've got a dog that is on raw food, that is another way of getting them to work for treats. And we want them to work for treats because there's going to be things we need them to do when we want food. So we want them to have that. I don't want her to be so focused on food that she doesn't want a tug, but I want there to be that element. And as you can see, food tends to be a quieter reward. It's a calmer reward. So you think of the energy she had when she was tugging just now, but now you look at her that we're gone to food, it's a calmer reward. So when you want to do behaviours that need to be down a level, it's good to be able to switch to food so you can do that. Yeah. So we're going to move on now, aren't we? Yeah, before you get too full on chicken. I hope you've enjoyed this Everyday Canines video, and if you have, you might like to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more magpie fun. Yeah, and we hope to see you all again very, very soon.